We spent 3 days in Ethiopia working on how ICRISAT can best support the national program in realizing the upcoming Growth and Transformation Plan 2 that Ethiopia will be releasing in the course of the coming weeks. I think that workshop was very successful in that it brought diverse partners together to focus on that shared vision for the country. Universities, farmers organizations, Ethiopian Institute of Agriculture Research, and the private sector, especially as it relates to processing and inputs. As we looked at strategies for smallholder farmers, we recognize that diversity plays a very important role in not just increasing profitability, but also resilience on the farm. And so while our crops are sorghum, millets, chickpea, groundnut, and pigeon pea, we recognize that livestock plays a very important role for smallholder farmers. And so we're taking a very integrated approach as we look to demand-driven innovation for smallholder farmers in Ethiopia. Within the farming system, we also know that without the sustainable management of natural resources, especially water and soil, that farmers won't be able to increase their productivity in a sustainable manner. And so we're also looking at watershed management within Ethiopia to make sure that we capture water where it falls and channel it to productive use on the farm. We see the role of technology playing an increasingly important role to connect farmers to equitable markets as well as to access to precise, timely information. The mobile phone is the most ubiquitous digital technology ever known to man, with 7 billion subscriptions around the planet. In Ethiopia, that market is developing, but it still has much more opportunity for growth. But we want to make sure that growth is a productive growth in serving rural communities. As we look at the integration of all these partnerships, technology, we want to make sure that we're designing programs that promote inclusive growth. So especially focusing on the needs of smallholder farmers who are women and youth. Women, because they often make the best decisions around investments for the household, and they carry out most of the agricultural practices. So we want to make sure that they also benefit equitably from their investments in agriculture. Likewise with youth, we recognize that youth don't see agriculture as an attractive enterprise for the future. So how do we turn that around? We really believe that by leveraging mobile and other innovative technologies to make agriculture more commercially attractive, that youth will come back into agriculture. So when we talk about inclusiveness and also expanding that to co-ownership, it's really building the coalitions needed for large-scale sustainable development. One organization isn't going to achieve that. It takes a coalition of partners that have a shared goal, vision, and framework to collaborate that really unlocks the potential. And so the approach that ICRISAT is taking is to work with partners on the ground using a common value chain framework to build those coalitions and engaging with farm communities to make sure that we're focusing on demand-driven innovation, listening to farmers, what their needs are, what their aspirations are, and aligning our research to realize their vision.